Well, I had plans to play something else, and over the weekend we had some snow come in, and I was really saving this one for Christmas, but I couldn't resist. It was a snowy afternoon. I got to break this thing open. So this is Battle of Hoth, Star Wars. It's from Days of Wonder. It is designed by Richard Borg and Adrian Martineau, I think is how you say his name. And so what you have here, if you played Memoir 44, this is going to look super familiar to you. I got rid of my Memoir 44 stuff. I gave it away to a young gamer a couple years ago, and I don't remember if this size board is the same as Memoir or if it's different. It feels like it's smaller than, say, Battle Cry. It's definitely smaller hex grid than, say, Commands and Colors Ancients or Napoleonics. But what we have here is basically Star Wars. It's from episode, 5? The Empire Strikes Back, famous scene. What makes this game worth getting is the question I've been asked, and that's why I really wanted to do this video. I've got a scenario set up here. Let me first of all tell you that the rules for this game are super easy to learn and get into. I have Commands and Colors Ancients, Napoleonics, the Tricorn set from Compass Games. I would say this is as simple as Memoir 44, maybe even a little bit more simple on the one hand, but hold on a second. Don't tune me out just yet. Rules are very easy to learn. I mean, you got maybe like 4 pages of rules. Because you got the opening page that just kind of tells you about the components. You maybe got 4 actual pages of rules. Great illustrations. I didn't run into any problems. Any questions I had, I found answers to it in the appendix at the back of the rule book. But this thing is super easy to learn. That's what I wanted you to know is 12-page rule booklet. But most of that is examples and appendix. Now, the scenario book is much heftier. What you got here is actually a ton of scenarios. So there's way more here than what I was expecting. I was kind of afraid that, with a battle like Hoth in the movie, how much game would there be? And the answer is way more than I was expecting. These scenarios, they play very quickly. Most of them you're going to have a hand of 4 cards. I don't think I've ever had a game yet. I've only played like 6 scenarios, but I don't think I've had a game where I had a hand size larger than 5, and it's either 4 or 5 victory medals that you're playing for. So compare that to Commands and Colors Ancients, where you could be competing for 6, sometimes even 9 flags. So these games are played maybe a little bit quicker, a little bit shorter. But what makes this game really different from all of the other Richard Borg Commands and Colors system is the decks. What you have here is a smaller deck for each faction in the game. So the Rebel Alliance and the Empire, they have their own decks. They have their own cards. And the cards are going to be just like Commands and Colors in the sense that you activate by sectors. You see, the Rebel Alliance has a lot of sector cards in their hand right now. And then the Empire has more tactics cards in their hand right now. And one of the cool things about the game, too, is you have a deck of 16 cards, but then you can decide to include a leader or a hero from the film. So in this case, Darth Vader has 3 cards that you could shuffle into your deck of 16, making a deck of 19 cards. Okay, and so the characters are... let's see, this one is Maximilian Veers, Darth Vader, those are the ones here, and then some other Admiral dude, that's the one that shuffled in that I can't get to right now. For the Rebel Alliance, it's Han Solo, Princess Leia, and Luke Skywalker. And which leader you choose, you want to look at the scenario, because some leaders it'll make more sense to choose them than others. For example, if you got to take down one of these AT-AT walkers, you're definitely going to want to have Luke Skywalker, because his cards will give you the best advantage to taking one of those beasts down, because these things are hard to kill. So the game is going to play in a way that I find just really new and refreshing from the other Commands and Colors games. I love that the cards are tailored to that faction, so there's a lot of asymmetry in the game. The units are pretty simple. There's 4 kinds of units for each faction. So for the Rebel Alliance, and by the way, the inserts are fantastic. They hold all the parts perfectly. You have the infantry, you have the snow sleds, I can't remember what they're called, snow speeders. I can't remember what they're called. Anyways, the speeders, I think, is what they're called. And then you have the artillery stand. So actually 3 kinds of units per faction. You have the artillery defenses, which are basically just one figure constitutes the whole unit. That's a little unusual for the Commands and Colors system. For the Rebel Alliance, your infantry is going to consist of 3 figures, so once your 3rd figure is gone, that's a victory flag for the other side. You can put these tokens down per the scenario to give them special advantages. For example, these are recon units, and if they get up on the ridges and you're engaged in combat with another unit, that other unit's going to throw an additional die if that recon unit has a line of sight to your target. For the Imperial side, you have droids. You have these recon droids, which are very hard to kill, but they're not terribly dangerous. They're on the more benign side. On the other hand, killing them does not give you a victory flag. So, as the Empire, using them gives you some new tactics to explore. Your infantry will consist of 4 figures as opposed to 3. So the infantry for the Rebel Alliance is a little bit more brittle than for the Empire. Now the AT-AT walkers, these guys, the AT-ATs, these guys are cool. Now obviously it's not to scale with the figures any more than the tanks would be for Memoir 44. What makes these dudes cool, they move very slow and ponderous. They basically can't go into any of the tiles. If there's a terrain tile there, these guys can't go onto it. I'm pretty sure. Maybe the trenches. I'd have to double check the terrain effects chart. But they move only 1 hex per turn, but they can move and shoot. And they always fire 3 dice, subject to what terrain is going to give for the defenders. Sometimes terrain is going to protect the defenders. But they're very powerful units. They're going to be throwing the max, usually about the max amount of dice is 3. The speeders, if they get up 1 hex distance, they're going to throw 4 dice at you. The play aids are super cool. Each player gets a 2-sided units display, so you can see what your opponent can do and see the rules pertaining to them. There's no text to it really. It's all icon based and illustrated. So yeah, these are super easy to understand. And and the other thing with these single-figured artillery stands, these dudes are tough to kill because they only die when you hit them with one of these explosions. So it's only a 1 in 6 chance of nailing one of these guys. They also don't give you a victory flag. But they are like the artillery in Memoir 44. They fire 4 dice at close range too, just like the speeders do. Speeders are the fastest. They move 3 hexes per turn. Infantry can move 1 and fire, and how many dice they throw is based on range, or they can move 2 hexes and not fire at all. The droids can move 2 spaces and shoot, not very effectively, max of 2 dice at close combat range. The infantry are exactly the same as the Rebel Alliance. Now, the AT-ATs, how do you kill these dudes? These are interesting because you hit them on either the symbol. See, here's the general explosion. This will hit any target. This will retreat you. This is a miss. This is going to hit vehicles. So whether it's a speeder or an AT-AT, this is going to hit it. Now, what you do when you're targeting an AT-AT is you total up all of the explosion bursts and the vehicle hits. You total up all of those that you got, and then you got to roll again. So if we got in a combined total of 3 initial hits on it, you got to check to see if those hits are effective enough to bring it down. And what you got to do is you got to get one of these results. So imagine you only hit on a 5 or a 6, and then for every 5 or 6 that you roll, you got to roll a 6 to confirm the kill, and then it's down. That's how hard it is to kill these guys. So yeah, you're going to find that there are some tools in the Rebel deck to help deal with that more effectively, but it makes these very interesting in actual play. So that is Battle for Hoth. Again, you got a ton of scenarios in here. I don't have experience with all of them. Let's see, I think there's 17. Yeah, there are 17 scenarios that come with the game. If you have 2 sets, you can put them together and play Assault on Hoth for a monster scenario. The back side of the board is going to be the half map. So you put two of these together and you can play an epic version. Now, is it worth buying two of these to play that one scenario? Jury's still out on that. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I've definitely gotten my money's worth with this set. This has been very surprising to me. It's far better than I was expecting it to be. It was kind of one of those impulse on a whim. I haven't bought a game for a while, purchases, and so I'm really glad I did. There's one other thing I want to show you, and that is it comes with two campaigns. There's the Assault on the Echo base and an Assault on Alpha base, I believe, or Delta base. And so how this is going to work is each player is going to get their own little fold-out for the scenario. So the Rebel Alliance would get this, the Empire would get that little fold-out. You set up one of the scenarios from the book, and then you follow the directions in here, and there's a bunch of alphabetized paragraphs that, based on what happens in the scenario, you read the paragraph, you follow the instructions, and it turns it into a persistent campaign. I love that. This is what I'd love to see done with Ancients or with Napoleonics or even Samurai or Medieval from GMT. This would be super, super cool. I haven't gotten into this yet. I'm looking forward to teaching it maybe to some of the kids or young people from my church and see if we can play some of this. If they get interested, maybe we'll dig one of these campaigns out. Is it something that you can play again and again? I don't know. I kind of looked at it and thought, it looks like something you want to maybe not read in advance until you're ready to play it. That's kind of the vibe I was getting. So I'm waiting to check that out with when I get to play this competitively. For now, I've just been pushing things around solo, using similar technique as the GMT CDG solo. You can basically make your own solo system with this. It plays pretty good. One last thing. I know I keep saying one last thing. One last thing, there are cards that go with the campaign that give you like temporary advantages. So there is more cards than just the other decks that goes with the campaign. There are nice lids for the pieces tray. All of the tiles fit really nicely in here. This is one of the better inserts I've seen out there. Your dice are going to fit in here. Really good set. This is Battle of Hoth. Days of Wonder, they knocked this one out of the park. I really can't say anything bad about this one. This has been a really fun game experience. So if you like Star Wars, if you enjoy the Command & Color system, I enjoy this more than I enjoyed Memoir 44. Let me put it that way. Just there's so much new and different here. It's definitely worth exploring. So I'm Joel Toppin. This is Battle of Hoth. Hope you enjoy the video.